just overall, it's just I found this passion for coaching people, and my failure in baseball because I never reached my potential. Here I am at 46 years old, knowing that I never reached my potential for baseball because I was undisciplined at the time. You know, my goal right now is to help them reach their potential, whatever that potential might be, whether it's 24 homes a year or 2,400 homes a year. My goal is I want to help them reach their potential.
Big it up, big it up. Yes.
Welcome to Let's Talk Real with Mel. We're here with Hank, Cassie in Florida. Now Florida,
Yeah.
really, you're a Marylander. You're from the DMV.
Yes.
So we'll focus on that part. But business coach, real estate coach, Tom Ferry coach. Tell us a little bit about your kind of where you are now with your business.
Yeah, appreciate it. So thanks for having me on. So for the last 7 years, been a Tom Ferry business coach. Coached hundreds of agents throughout those years and learned a ton, and just really passionate about it, really loving it, just seeing their growth, being able to work with clients that, you know, come in, they're struggling, they're fed up with the business, they're stressed, they're just overwhelmed, and able to help them put that plan together and watch them succeed, watch them cross over from overwhelmed to being prosperous and having more time with their family and just living life, a better life.
Okay, so just helping. I mean, people, and I imagine you know, being a Tom Ferry coach, you have some clients that have no business, and you just helping them get some business. You have other clients that are already by most standards would be considered successful, and then you help them become uber successful. Right.
Yeah, I mean, success is defined on what they want. I mean, some people it's just, let me go sell 12, 24 homes a year. Some people like, let me go sell 200, 300, 400 homes a year. So every individual's success is defined differently. And so my goal is to help them reach their success. What's their meaning of success? Because everyone's success is different.
Individual based.
Yep.
So how many clients can you support?
So I coach 37 right now. It's been much higher at some points, but I like that 37 to max 45. And I'm coaching more teams now, so we got more
extra support
you got to
provide
in there, and the team members that we're helping, and it's just a lot of fun doing that.
All right, yeah.
So we're able to reach more people and help them.
Yeah, on the team, because you're coaching the team lead, helping the team lead be a better leader. So you're actually affecting more lives that, you know, probably even though you have 37 clients, probably hundreds of lives have been affected by your.
Well, you hope it trickles down to their spouse, their kids, their family members, their teammates, their friends, everything. So you're hoping what you bring to them spreads.
Yeah, good stuff. So back to let's go way back. So
Okay.
Born and raised in Maryland, you said Gaithersburg area.
Yeah, so I mean, I wasn't born in Maryland. I was born upstate New York. Moved around for the first 12 years of my life. Landed in Maryland, Gaithersburg, Quince Orchard boy.
Okay.
Graduated from there in '95.
Maryland got to play.
Yeah,
state champion again.
Yeah, they just won it again.
Yeah.
So powerhouse football team.
Yep.
And
they were like that when I was in high school.
Yeah,
I feel like
they won it my freshman year back in '91, '92. So.
Yeah, I finished in '91. So yeah.
So they've had good baseball teams, good basketball teams. So I played baseball there. Went on to Montgomery College, Germantown, and then played college ball. Chasing the professional dream, came up a little short there, and got out of college, and what do you do? Just when your plan doesn't work, you're lost, and all of a sudden it's like, here I am bartending, and who's all my clients around my bars? Shocker, realtors.
Right.
So
we don't know. Realtors like to drink. No, I don't know, a little bit.
A little bit. They were casual in there, so just 3 to 5 days a week I had them in there, but. So again, I learned more about the business for those couple of years I was bartending, and one day, one of the agents said, "Hey, you should get into this business. I think you have the right personality. She just felt I had the right makeup for it." And sat down, went to lunch with her for 3 hours, and the best thing she did for me is she didn't give me all the great stuff, the money that was involved, the good stuff. She told me all the horrible shit in real estate that could happen. the clients, the ups and downs, the hours, you're working weekends. It's not a 9 to 5. It's a, it's a 24/7 potentially. It's in the grind, especially when you're starting off. So I was like, cool, sounds like fun. Let's
do it. I mean, and if you were already doing the bartending life, the service industry is no, easy thing either. So that's a whole thing, where you start at 6 o'clock, you're off at 3 a.m. and now you're fired up and ready to hang out.
Right.
So that's a whole different lifestyle that's not easy as well.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, real estate brought in a little bit more stability and income potential. So jumped over there, and again, like first couple of years, you struggle, you're building it. I mean, I'm 24 years old. I look like I'm 16. I show up to meet with clients who are like,
"Where's Dad?" Yeah, no.
So you're kind of like, "No, it's me." And then, so you had to get through that battle just before you even showed a house, just showed some knowledge. And again, I got to coach my first year and a half in the business.
Oh, so you weren't messing around.
No.
You knew when you went straight into coaching.
Well, I mean, former athlete. I've always had a coach since I've been this big. So if I had a coach for sports, why not have a coach for business?
But it sounds simple enough, but we know that people in not just our industry, but in most industries feel like they can just figure it out.
Yeah. Well, you might be able to figure it out, but it's the learning curve is going to take longer. And I want to flatten the learning curve. And my manager saw I was putting in the work, the hours, and she's just like, look, have you considered a coach? I'm like, I didn't know there was a coach. There's real estate coaches. She goes, yeah, I think your personality would be aligned with like a Mike Ferry, which coincidence is Tom's dad.
Right.
So I was with them for a couple of years.
It's funny. I was in Mike Ferry coaching for sure. I wasn't even licensed then, but my wife at the time was, and she was in coaching, so would be on some of the calls.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I coached them for the first couple of years, and just business went like that, and was making money and building a business, and just continued and tried a different coaching company that, found, and then a couple of years after that, I found Tom and became a client and did well there. And all of a sudden they brought me in to become a speaker. And then, for 7 years now, I've been a coach.
All right. So tell me about kind of how that coaching affected your business when you were, now you were the coach, but when you were a coaching client at the time, how, from you said a year and a half in, and you said your business was like that. What did that look like in terms of, I know the numbers are going to be a little thwarted based on today's numbers, but what would you say that was?
Well, so back then it was more single agents. They didn't have the team concept. You never heard of teams, these big teams that being formed. So much different back then. So it was very much single agent based. But for me, it was like, here's the skill sets to build upon. Here are the habits you can build upon. Here's how we're going to track and measure. And again, it's that accountability that's built in there. So when you put all those things together, I challenge you not to have success. That's going to be real tough. That's going to be real tough not to have success during, when you have all those 4 components in there. And just, I learned about consistency. And again, when you look at it, it's like, hey, you were pretty successful in baseball. What made you successful? You're consistent.
Yeah.
You had a routine, you had habits. So sports is very much like, is very much like real estate and very much like business.
Small business, yeah.
So with that being said, it was a fairly easy transition. But once you got into it, and it's like, got the skill sets, and the first 2 years, everything felt like it was going on 150 miles per hour. But once you got past that first 2 years, understood how to negotiate, understood contracts, understood the process, it was a matter of, okay, how big can we grow this thing?
Mm-hmm.
And I always had I was always the single agent at the time, got an assistant, and built up from there.
Did you ever have any times of, where you either you weren't growing as fast as you thought, or times where things got more challenging than you expected, where you thought, you know what, maybe this isn't for me? Did you ever have any doubt?
Oh, all the time. All the time. If you don't, any successful person, if they tell you that they didn't want to quit, if they didn't get punched in the face, 100%. But I'm a true believer. You learn more from your failures. I learned, it's like the Mike Tyson saying, it's like, everyone else has a plan until they get punched in the face. That And it's so true. And you get punched in the face. And look, 2008 happened. You know, we hit a major recession. Now, the one fortunate thing about the DC market is DC's a good recession proof. And we had the government there. We had plenty of contractors there. But so I had to change my total business. You know, I was, you know, selling a little bit higher end. I was doing some building. I was doing some contracting. I was doing some flips. And that kind of halted. And what I had to do is I had to like get really singular focused. And I decided, let's go real estate. Let's put the contract on the side. Let's put the flips on the side. Let's put everything on the side and just go right down and like
serve clients.
Go serve clients and go sell some houses. Because no matter what market you're in, I don't care how bad a recession is. And yeah, a lot of people got hurt by that recession. And anybody that tells you they didn't get hurt by the recession, they didn't have any money, they didn't have any assets. Okay. So I coach some people now, they're in their 20s, like, yeah, I was like 8 or 9 during that time. I'm like, yeah, so you never got hurt. But did your parents get hurt? Yeah, I remember my parents losing their house. I remember my parents having to short sell their house. I remember my dad coming home and saying, you know, got laid off. So yeah, there's some hard times. So, but from a real estate perspective, there's always going to be people that need to buy and sell.
Yep.
There's always going to be those people, whether it's, you know, a short sale, a regular sale, people are always going to have to sell and people are always going to have to be buying. Okay. It's one of Maslow's hierarchies. We need shelter over our head.
Yep.
So I just figured out, how do we have to go do this?
Mm-hmm.
So learned about the CDPE, went down that road, learned how to do short sales, didn't know what short sales were. 60 days later, I was trained. I had the paperwork and documents and just, you know, nailed out a bunch of them over the course of 2 years. And again, had to build out a new system for that. So I made a small fortune during the recession.
Yeah.
I did really well during the recession. Now, did I have to check my ego? Yes. Did my average sales price go from a little over $1 million to about $425, $450?
Yeah, and that was 15 years ago. You had over $1 million. So.
Right.
Right.
So all of a sudden now we're talking about, you know, I got to go sell 3 houses for every one. And it you know, it humbles you. But again, no one else wanted to work and was cool. There was fewer agents, but it was the agents that were really good.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good. So every deal had a challenge to it, and every one of those agents always got on the other line and picked up the phone and said, okay, how do we fix this challenge? So the collaboration was amazing. So if I was going to say anything to any agents, you gotta love a good recession.
Right.
You gotta love a good recession.
It thins the herd, and
it thins the bad ones out, and the good ones, they figure out the new skill sets, they figure out those new habits, they figure out everything they have to put into their business, and they go and crush it.
We're kind of seeing that now a little bit, wouldn't you say?
Well, I mean,
with some of the agents kind of sitting on the sideline.
Yeah, I mean, there's talk out there, recession. Some people are going to sit there and say we're in a recession. So some people are going to sit there and say we're heading for one, and that's okay. I mean, they're talking about 4.9 million homes being sold this year. What is that? 11, 12, 13, 14,000 homes a day. And if you're an agent that wants to go sell 40, and there's 1,000 homes, 40 homes in 1 year, and your market, there's 1,000 homes a month being sold.
Right. You should be able to figure it out.
Why can't you go get your 3 or 4, transactions every month? Go do the work. Go make the adjustments. Go get the skill sets. Go build those habits. It's there for you.
Yeah. So what do you say to, agents that get licensed now? I mean, and they see, in the HGTVs of the world and the Bravos and all of that, and they paint this picture that that exists for a few, but that's not the reality for the 99%. And then they come in. What would you say to that agent?
I always sit there and say, I want to know what your expectation of real estate is. Like, what's your vision of real estate? If they give me the HGTV, I'm just gonna be like, all right. So then we have to do some adjusting there. Some people sit there and by the time they get to me, they've already had some challenges and they're going through those challenges and we help them. Yeah, like overcome those challenges and do what we do.
Sometimes those blocks, those mental blocks.
But a lot of people just have a limited belief. They come in with a limited belief of what they're capable of doing in this business, and once they get past that, they're like, okay, it's all mindset. Once they get the mindset right, they can do it.
All right, pretty cool. So you were in business. At what point did you? Because you said you're not, you're not, just now you're just helping friends and family.
Yeah.
When did you decide, and why did you decide that, you were so successful, you were so good at it? It seemed like after you got the skill set down and you were into the coaching, you were able to create some consistent income. Why did you decide that at one point that you didn't want to do the real estate anymore?
I fell in love with the coaching side of it.
Okay.
But two, I fell out of love with the real estate side of things. And be quite honest, where I fell out of love with it, I didn't like working with other agents. It was always a challenge getting phone calls back. It was always a challenge working with them. They always thought there had to be a winner and a loser in a negotiation when, they were using themselves. Like, how would they negotiate this deal if it was them versus, let me pick up the phone, go call my client and see what they want. And by the time it's like, hey, go call your client and see what they really want, they call back, oh yeah, they're fine with the $10,000 adjustment. You argued with me all this and you didn't make the phone call until I made you go make the phone call, until I wanted the response in writing, signed by the seller or by the buyer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, the agents were just, I got tired of working with the agents. So like I said, if there was ever really a good recession, I might jump back in.
Right.
Because that's
And then, you weed out this, right, and weed out the, and get the people that.
On the other side, I just fell in love with the coaching. I really did. It just, and it's nothing easy about it because there's people that show up to me. It's like, I've had 6 or 7 clients, coach, I have cancer. Had a few clients, hey, coach, my spouse is leaving me or cheating on me or we're going through divorce. There's real life stuff that happens. So it's just not business and fun and games and all that. There's some real life we deal with on a daily basis. And that's great. But it just overall, it's just, I found this passion for coaching people and my failure in baseball because I never reached my potential. Here I am at 46 years old, knowing that I never reached my potential for baseball because I was undisciplined at the time. My goal right now is to help them reach their potential, whatever that potential might be, whether it's 24 homes a year or 2,400 homes a year. My goal is I want to help them reach their potential. Yeah. And if I can help them reach their potential, I'm successful as a coach.
Yeah,
they're successful in their life. But them reaching their potential, what does that do for their relationship? What does that do for their marriage? What does that do with that? What does that do with their relationship with their kids? The time spent with them. We have 168 hours in a week. We sleep 56 hours of those. You have 112 hours, awakened hours most of the time. And that's if we all get 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
So we have 112 hours a week. How are you going to use those hours? And normally people will work 40, 50, 60 hours. And I hear some of these agents that are working 80 or 90 hours a week. And I'm just like, why? Like, where are your systems? Where are your processes? Where's the support? And they're the bottleneck. And if we can just undo that bottleneck, and all of a sudden they get 10, 20, 30 hours back in their week, and they can go put it towards their family or a different business.
Difference maker.
It's a totally difference maker, big time.
Yeah, and I can see that you're passionate about the service part and getting that potential out of the clients. I wonder if that comes all the way back from the bartending, from service oriented and trying to serve others.
Yeah, you learn that. I mean, you learn the service part doing that. I didn't do that job because I wanted to. I did that job because it's either I lay in bed all day and do nothing, which is, in my opinion, not acceptable. You gotta get up and go do something. I remember being in there. I was like, no more. You can't do this more than 2 years. Like, you got to make a decision. So I guess that was my period of like finding myself. Like, what am I gonna do? And you get up, making decent money for a 21, 22-year-old at the time. But all of a sudden, they come in. My whole bar crowd is realtors, which today it's like I see them out drinking and partying. I'm like, all right, you got to invent some more.
Right.
Show up.
Yeah, on time.
Reason,
right.
But them showing up is what got me into this industry and ultimately led me to becoming a coach.
Yeah.
Who knows where I would have been? Don't know. It's destiny.
Right. And then you said in Bethesda, big team, and then you moved down this way.
Yeah, so I met my wife. Funny, I was in Vegas at a RE/MAX convention, and I met my wife there. Who was there with some friends, and she just happens to live in Fort Myers, Florida, and it was a very cold cold winter in Florida, or I'm sorry, in Maryland that winter, like in the teens, and 75 down in Florida. She goes, "You want to come visit?" I'm like,
Think so.
"Yeah." Get the computer out, booked a flight, spent a few days down there, and that's what it was. And then when she got pregnant, she's just like,
What you gonna do?
"Hey, your traffic sucks, your weather sucks, you got to move down here." So yeah, I picked up and been down there for 9 years now, and loved it. First 2 years was tough, different pace, which drove me nuts. I was used to the DC pace of like, let's go. And all of a sudden, when I got down there, it just took me 2 years to slow down a little, get adjusted, learn how to play. Well, not
Still learning, right.
Playing more golf,
Yeah.
going to the beach more often, enjoying the lifestyle.
Yeah, better quality of life.
So, but then I became a new dad and was learning that. So
How's that going? How old is?
he's 9, and just like his dad, he's a golf addict. So we're either out pop stroke or putt on Friday night, top golf on a Saturday, and playing 18 holes on Sunday. So a lot of golf on the weekend with that guy. So
That's pretty awesome.
he's no phenom, but he is he gets that killer instinct. We never know.
Yeah, and you could
Yeah.
put and I know you'll be able to make sure that you get that potential
Oh yeah.
if you can get it.
Oh yeah. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get.
All right.
But yeah, he's a blast.
Good stuff. I've got a quote of the day, but I don't have my phone. All right. All right, quote of the day. I know. I like that one better. Right. Quote of the day. Consistency is the fruit of the tree of success. The more you do something effectively and with a goal in mind, the better you will get at it and the more you will feel fulfilled. Dan O'Brien.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, you've been around this ecosystem. You've been around a lot of successful agents and business people. If you look at one of their traits, consistency is what helps them. That's what gets you there. I always tell my clients, I'd rather you do consistently. I would rather you do less consistently than more inconsistently.
Yeah.
Do less consistently and more inconsistently, you're gonna win.
That's true. It's like if sometimes I know in our space, and we want to just figure I'll just work really, really hard on Saturday to make up for all the stuff I didn't do during the week, and it just doesn't work that way.
Doesn't do it. And that's not maintainable. You can't maintain that because you just get burnt out. You get frustrated. It stresses you out. It's just like, go plan your schedule, go plan your day, and just execute the plan. I always try to get my clients, I was like, if you can execute 80% of your plan for a week,
You're winning.
you're going to win. And when I sit there and say, that's 4 out of 5 days. So now, if you're doing good Monday through Thursday, don't go purposely shit the bed on Friday because the real estate gods are going to punish you next week. Like, finish out the week strong, but the next week when you lose your voice, when you're not feeling good, when the school calls you up and your kid's sick and you have to take the day off, you have that day.
Yeah, it's
You
okay.
have that day to give, but, just be consistent. It doesn't matter how little, and then it's building that muscle. It's like you go to the gym, you're not going to pick up the heavy weights. You're going to build up to that. That's consistency also. But consistency is so important in business. I don't care. Life,
Yeah.
relationships, everything. You're consistent with everything.
Yeah, unfortunately or unfortunately, that is a part of everything.
If you consistently drink too much, you're going to have a problem.
Yeah, we were just talking about.
If you consistent, if you do the bad things inconsistently, if you eat bad consistently, you don't weigh 400 pounds after a week of eating pizza. You weigh 400 pounds because of 20 years of poor decisions of what you want to eat.
Yeah, it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, but I love that.
And it works both ways.
Works both ways.
It works
You go to
both
the gym,
ways.
you go to the gym. No one wants to go to the gym.
Yeah, that's right.
Sucks in the gym.
Right.
But when you walk out of the gym,
Oh, you definitely feel good.
you feel good. You still might want to throw up. You might not feel good, but an hour later,
But
after that shower, you're just
Yeah.
like,
I'm glad I did it.
I'm glad I did it.
Yeah.
Even if it's a bad workout. You might sit there and say bad workout, but it's better than no workout.
Right.
So
That's true.
love it.
All right. Awesome. Well, let me ask if we wanted to reach out to you for coaching, wanted to learn more about you, how would we reach you?
You can reach out to me on Instagram at Hank Cassie, HANK CASSI, no E, and then that's the best way to reach out to me. But
Okay.
yeah.
Instagram.
Awesome.
All right. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Enjoy
Thank
it.
you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Here